tried to trade in their systems and getting so. It makes me glad that GameStop's dropping because
Well,
it just
I mean, to be
in
frank,
such.
like I said, I've never seen the amount of money someone's lost off of game. I've never seen how much money someone gets offered for trading their system at GameStop. I have seen people go in with a $600 cell phone and get offered like 20, 30 bucks for a cell phone that GameStop's just going to send to China and get sold in China for $300, $400.
And if you're wondering, I saw somebody get their console sold for, sold $45.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends. If you're selling um, if you're selling a Wii or a 360 or a PS3, yeah, you're not gonna don't expect to get more than 50 or 60 bucks. And that's on the high end. That's if they're like really low. You talk them up a little bit, you're probably gonna get 45, 30 bucks. And then they're gonna take it, refurbish it, and sell it for like 60, $70. And that's just how they
Actually,
make
near
money.
100.
Well, no, for a seventh gen console, yeah, it's not gonna be near 100. It's gonna be like for maybe I think the PS3s still have a little bit of value, so you might get so they might sell them at E3. I mean at GameStop for like
Uh-huh.
um I don't know
120.
uh no, I mean you can get a PS3 used at GameStop for like I want to see $60 or $70. I can look it up right now. GameStop.
Though, though, if anything, this is based on the GameStop that's near my place. So
Well, the sale, the sale, this, uh, uh, the sales for their pre-owned games are pretty much universal for the consoles. So, it's going to be the same thing. Although there is a little bit of give. So uh, a PS3 250 gigabyte model is 109.99. But if you traded that shit in, it'd probably be less than that. You know what I mean?
way less. Like you're about to get $50
No,
basically.
that probably 40 bucks, right?
Yeah.
A PS3. This is weird. The 160 gigabyte model is $100, but the 120 model is 109. That's weird. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. It's like, you know,
Yeah. It kind and it kind of hurts when you think about
not
it.
really. I mean, look, listen. Some people like GameStop's business model. Look, they make their money off of selling. Um,
Used items.
yeah, selling used items.
I'm saying that it's one thing that selling them, but if anything, I thought at least they give you a quarter or at least a half or at the least a quarter, and they barely do that at times.
Um, uh, I mean the way
I
the
said barely.
I mean, how can I put this? Like, okay, like I said, for
I mean,
me,
I know they're, but I thought at least they at least have something.
the thing about GameStop is GameStop, like, okay, GameStop makes their money off of used games. That's their business model. That's how shit works. The problem with GameStop, however, is because they make their money with used games. Um, that's basically how they do their shit. Um, like, like that's how they make their money. The problem with that is that,
I
like,
mean,
when
how can
shit
I say
got really
this?
desperate, um, essentially speaking, they started doubling down on the annoying shit that they had to do in order to make their money, which was, hey, you got trade-ins, we got used games to sell. And people, like, here's the thing: people don't want to go and just be fucking annoyed when they go play video games. I mean, when they're going to buy games, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't want that shit. People don't want to be, um,
Bent over for being a customer.
yeah, I mean, like, okay, if you go to a restaurant, and I don't mean like a McDonald's, because McDonald's isn't really a restaurant. It's a drive-in. It's a drive-through. It's an evolution of a drive-in place. I mean, like um,
Quality eatery.
a real quality restaurant. You're gonna sit down, and someone's gonna come up to you, and they're saying, "How can I help you? What do you need?" And that's just how it works. Well, I mean, that's why you go to a restaurant, for the service. But when you go out shopping, right? Let's say it's for something that you've like typically it's for a big purchase. Now, a big purchase, depending on the person, a big purchase for some people is like something that's above $50. For other people, a big purchase is something that's over $100 or 500, 1,000, whatever. But typically speaking, when you make a big purchase, you're going to do your research. So you're going to go online and look up what you need. You're going to look up what you're going to need in order to make this shit work. You're going to go and do what you need to do. And I mean, you look at something like GameStop, and I mean, you go there and they're aggressive. They're aggressively aggravating people. Hey, would you like to sign up for our newsletter? No. Would you like to sign up for our Power Ups reward? No. Would you like to? No. Look, man, I'm only here. I want to buy these three things, and then I want to go home and play my game. Would you like our warranty? No. No, I don't want your fucking warranty.
Worst is people. Worst is the people are telling them to say that's kind of BS.
You want to know why they're selling people the warranty at GameStop? They're selling people the warranty at GameStop because they want to fucking because like most people aren't like unless like the people in your house are just animals. I don't mean like literally they're animals. I mean like they have no sense of decorum when it comes to technology. Generally speaking, people aren't just going to be fucking taking your shit and like doing weird shit with it. I mean, what the fuck, man?
Come on.
I broke this. How? How did you break like
that that raises so many.
how did you break this shit? Well, like I don't get that one. Cuz I've seen people break consoles like, cuz typically speaking the people who have consoles are older and they're not little kids, you
Yeah, I
know.
mean, in a household that are very heavy, likely to break something, you don't need that beeping insurance.
No. Man, I don't know, but anyway, as I was saying, yeah, I'm not really into. So basically, to get into our first story, essentially speaking, GameStop has hired a whole bunch of people. The big one is that they hired Reggie Fils-Aimé. However, he's not gonna come on board until April. So
Um, just to even if he comes in at April, it takes months, if not an entire year, before from the new hires.
Well, not even that. He's just a board member. So really, all he can really do is just make suggestions, and then they have to vote on the shit. So even then, like, and here's another thing. Reggie, I think he was once the worldwide president of Pizza Hut or Domino's, and then he was snatched up by Nintendo. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Nintendo, in all the years they've been in video games, has never been in the position that GameStop's in right now.
Yeah, I mean, you're putting him behind the 8 ball.
Okay, I mean, but here's the thing: he's not even. That's the thing. Like as board members, as a board member, you like they don't run the day-to-day operations. They can't make any initiatives. The only thing the board can do is make suggestions and then vote on suggestions.
It's true.
They don't run day-to-day operations. So even then, people are like, Reggie's gonna look, man, look, slow your
I'm
roll,
saying that
son.
that's the hired to be part of the whiteboard crew, as in they just write ideas.
Okay, slow your roll, slow your roll, son. Yeah, I think let's see. He worked at Procter and Gamble, Pizza Hut, Panda Management, Guinness, Derby Cycle, VH1, Nintendo, and now GameStop.
And how many of those businesses were in a mess before he went in?
None of them, except okay. Let's see. Maybe Pizza Hut for a while.
Yeah, that was that probably might be his only time.
But even then, it's just not really doing anything. So yeah. GameStop is not working. It's not doing anything for anybody. Calm it down. It's not gonna happen. You people are like, yeah, GameStop, they're gonna pull it together. Look, listen, chill out. Take a deep breath. GameStop is still fucked.
The ship is still sinking, and they're hiring help to out. You needed that a long time back.
Let me put it this way. You would it would be faster. Let me put it this way: if you took a rock, I mean, if you took an egg, and you went to some type of canyon or cliff face near where you lived, and you dropped that egg so that it was gonna hit the ground and crack at some point, that egg has a better chance of hatching in midair, growing into a full bird, and flying off before it hit the ground than GameStop not declaring bankruptcy by next year. Okay?
God, that's some beeping low odds.
All right? There you go. GameStop is fucked. I know some people will disagree with me.
I was going to say, if anything, they have at least a point living.
No, because here's the reason why GameStop is in trouble. GameStop is in trouble because the fundamental way that they do business doesn't work anymore. Because
Yeah,
the vast majority of their money, like okay, the vast majority of people who GameStop made money off of are people who are casual gamers at best. Who what they do is that they buy a game and then they trade that shit in order to get the next game. The people who are that casual a gamer are also really nowadays are really into buying shit digital. Like, why trade shit in when I can just basically just, like I can wait for a sale and just buy the game on sale? Because every digital storefront these days has sales on their games. Even Nintendo has sales on their games. Not great sales compared to others, but sales. Like, hey, you want to get Mario Odyssey? You can get it for $40 this week. You know, you want to
Some
get
deal.
Horizon Zero Dawn, you can probably get it for like 30 dollars. You know, like you want to get Halo the Master Chief Collection, you can get that shit cheap now. Digitally probably. You don't need to go to GameStop. Look, listen. You can, because here's the thing. If you go to GameStop, you have to get in a car, you have to take some form of transportation and drive to a GameStop. That's more money on top of what you spent to get the shit digitally. So it's cheaper for you to get it digitally versus physically. So those people, those gullible people, aren't coming into the stores that much. Like I there's this mall. Well, I live near Potomac Mills in the DMV, and there's this corner where the GameStop is in the mall. And it used to be right next to a Radio Shack, another defunct fucking brand, and and the Radio Shack is gone. It's something else now. But next to the GameStop is a Auntie Anne's and a Cinnabon. Now, occasionally I do go to the Cinnabon because I fucking love Cinnabon because it's delicious.
Oh.
Every once, and I don't go to Cinnabon very often. I go to Cinnabon maybe once every 4 or 5 months. But every
It's
once in a
a
while, what?
it's a rare moon for me when I go to
Every once in a while, you just have a hankering for a nice warm Cinnabon.
gooey bun.
Yeah. So and yeah, you could make your own Cinnabuns, but why? When I can go to Cinnabon and just buy one for $4 or $5? Because all I want is one. I don't want like a whole pack. I just want one Cinnabon. But anyway, so yeah, but there's a Cinnabon there, and every time I just go and walk past the GameStop, there's no one in there. I remember a time like years ago where you could go into that GameStop and it would always be packed. I mean, fucking packed. Like I remember going in there on days and you could see a line of people trying to buy games and pre-ordering games and picking up games and trading shit in. No one in there. Literally empty.
Ghost Town.
I would have been surprised to see a tumble. I wouldn't have been surprised to see a tumbleweed go sparkling past.
Good line.
It's bad.
Good
It's
line.
bad. And here's the thing. This is a GameStop that's in a mall where you have tons of foot traffic where people are walking back and forth. Nothing. Nothing. Like, I mean, are people still going there? I don't know, but GameStop I mean, like, here's the thing, okay? But people are gonna be like, oh man, Reggie. Look, listen, I'm not gonna get mad at Reggie Fils-Aimé for basically selling out his name for 6 or 7 figures. Well, 7 figures, I hope. 7 figures, just getting a check. Whether this shit succeeds or fails, he gets his money. Good for Reggie. Get your money, man. Get paid. All right. I'm not gonna get mad at you because if someone came up to me, if someone said, hey. If GameStop came up to me and said, "Hey, we'll give you $1 million just to make it seem like we're gonna, like we can turn this shit around," I'm not gonna turn away $1 million. I don't give a shit about GameStop. I'll take that money and cash that check and go buy some other stocks. I don't give a
You
shit.
be for weeks.
Listen. I don't like. Here's the thing. People are like, "How could you?" Look, listen. Reggie wants to capitalize on his good name. He deserves to capitalize on his good name because he earned it. If you earn a good name, you should be able to make money off your good name. He deserves it. He earned. Look, if they want to write him a check to make the stock go up, to make it seem like they can turn shit around, which the stock did go up. It went up by 43 cents. It's still under like $5, but hey, it went up by 43 cents. That's a good thing.
Progress.
So like GameStop, like I said, GameStop is not in a good position. And for those of you who still buy your games at GameStop, I would advise you to find alternate
Locations.
alternate places to. Um,
to your gaming products.
yeah, like Amazon, Target, Walmart. I mean, personally, I hate Walmart. Um, because I don't like how Walmart treats their workers. And also don't like how Walmart like has people checking receipts and shit. Like I don't like that. Um,
You're slimming the options down, Red.
and I know some people are gonna be like, "Hey, well, why don't you like? I mean, you shop at Costco and they check your coop your your receipt. Here's why Costco checks your receipts officially. They check your receipts in order to make sure whatever your discounts you got. This was discounted off the total price. That's why they check your receipt. Walmart checks your receipts to make sure you didn't steal anything. Okay?
There's a difference between discount and shoplifting, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing. First of all, like, I'm gonna keep it real. If I was gonna steal from a store, it wouldn't be a fucking shitty ass Walmart. Just, I mean,
Oh,
I personally think if I was a criminal, I could do better than fucking Walmart. I mean, just keeping it real. Like
I'm
those
I'm saying
criminals,
you're getting vicious.
those criminals who stole the truck filled with Walmart stuff from Florida and like stole the truck filled with goods. That was a smart heist. Don't steal from the store. Steal before the shit gets to the store. That's a good. Now, it wasn't a good move that they hid it in someone's front yard. That was not a smart move. They should have taken it someplace
Private.
desolate, unloaded that shit, and flipped it and made some money. But look, listen, it is what it is. But like everyone's like, oh man, look, listen. If I was gonna steal, Walmart would be one of the last places I'd steal from because Walmart has nothing that I would really want to be caught stealing. Now, knocking over the money truck, the treasury, the mint truck that picks up all the money, the old money, and takes it to get incinerated. That's a smart. That's a smart move. Like if you're gonna steal some shit that actually means something. Or knock over a casino. That's a good one. I mean, you got to deal with the mafia and organized crime, but fuck it. You know, don't steal from, don't steal from Walmart. Really? Seriously, that's what you're.
As I said, you're vicious.
Well, the reason I don't like is because I remember I used to go shopping with my grandmother. My grandmother could barely see, and she was really enthralled with that old school mentality of I have to feel the fabric and look at the quality. And my grandmother was really gaudy and ostentatious with the type of shit she
That
would buy.
bad?
Well, the type of shit like if something had sequins on it or was sparkly, she would be attracted to it like a bird. So the big thing, but anyway,
Oh,
my grandmother like she really that's what she liked. So the thing is that she always went to Sears and Macy's and Sears, Macy's, and Burdines. Sears, Macy's, and Burdines, and J.C. Penney, but mostly Sears, Macy's, and Burdines. She would always go to those stores, and I swear she loved going to this one Sears in Florida called Sears Town. It was like a mall, but back in the day, like in the '60s and the '70s, that the anchor store was Sears. Everything was like all these little other things were built around Sears, so it was called Sears Town. So every time my grandmother went to that, I went to that store with my grandmother. These people would fucking follow me like I was stealing from the store. And here's the thing: statistically, the people who steal the most from stores
are the employees?
well, statistically, you get a lot of employees, but in terms of like non-employee stealing, it's old white ladies with big ass purses. Those are the people who steal the most from stores.
Dang.
Yeah, old white ladies with big ass purses are the ones who steal from stores. Those are the statistically, they've done studies, they've looked at footage. It's mostly old white ladies with big ass purses. But they'd follow my little black ass around, and bad at following me too. Like I'd be sitting here walking, looking at shit because I'm bored because my grandmother is so slow and has to touch every goddamn thing. What's this look like? Let me feel the fabric. So I'd turn around and some
Oh
motherfucker
god.
would turn real quick. Like they caught me. It's like I'm like, and had smartphones been prevalent back then, I would have been like, yeah, you're following me because you think I'd steal. I would rather shoot myself in the foot than steal from this fucking shitty ass store. I'm glad Sears declared bankruptcy and went out of business. Fuck them. Okay.
Yeah, I
Um,
can understand that.
Sitting there always thinking
Eh,
people want to steal from your shitty ass store. But anyway, like I would
back to
not.
back to another family business.
Back to another mainstay of the industry that's just failing miserably. E3.
Nice way to transition.
Yeah, E3. E3, the electronic, at ESA, the people that run E3 were like, well, we're shutting this down because of the coronavirus. Sure, yeah, the coronavirus. Yeah,
Uh,
okay.
that is one reason, but
No, I
there's
don't even.
at least at the bottom of the barrel compared to what other reasons there are.
I don't even think that's the. I don't even think that's the main reason. I think that's just a convenient excuse. It's kind of like this, right? You don't want to go on a date with someone, or you don't want to go. You don't want to go to a social outing. So basically, like a whole bunch of people around you say they're sick. So then you say, well, I'm worried I might get sick too, so I'm not going to go out. That's a convenient excuse, even though you didn't want to go in the first place. That's basically what E3. Because like, here's the thing. Here's my supposition. I don't have any proof, but it makes sense. I think a lot of the people who were normally a part of E3 this year were like, we're gonna scale back. We're not gonna put as much money into it. E3 was like, shit. Goddamn. We thought this was gonna be bigger, and they weren't gonna be able, because E3's been getting smaller over the last few years. Um, it's been getting smaller and smaller. The presentations have gotten more and more lackluster. Like for me personally, Microsoft's presentations have been shit for years. Um,
That's
Sony's
an understatement.
Sony's presentations have been shit for years. Nintendo's presentations, I enjoy Nintendo Directs, but here's the thing. A Nintendo Direct doesn't have to be shown at E3. They could literally do that from anywhere. The Treehouse could be done from Nintendo's headquarters to Nintendo America's headquarters. They don't have to come to E3. They could literally stay in Seattle, Washington. They could basically take the lobby of the little mini Nintendo World Store in Nintendo of America's headquarters. They could basically shut that down, just run some cameras, do Nintendo Treehouse from there, and call it a day. And call it and do 3-4 days, and that could be their Treehouse event, and they would save so much fucking money. Because then they wouldn't have to have hotels. They wouldn't have to fly anyone any place. They wouldn't have to pay for food because those people are, I think a lot of those people also get their food compensated as well. They don't have to do any of that shit.
That savings. And we all know that businesses love. I mean, they probably even look for coupons at this rate.
Yeah, I mean, here's all I'm saying. Um, GameStop. I mean, E3 has become increasingly irrelevant because basically the people in charge of running E3, like E3 became less about the customers and getting people excited for games and more about making it feel good, making people who, you know, making the people who made the games feel good. And when you stop worrying about the people who buy your product and more about the people who make your product, I'm not saying, fuck the people who make the product. I'm just simply saying that when you give less of a shit about people who buy your product, and instead the people who put the money forward to make your product, That's a problem. Because here's the thing: if you don't have people buying your product, I don't care how many people are spending money to have the shit made. It's going to be a moot endeavor, and that's basically what happened with E3. Like it became more about this huge, uh, you know, circle event of people just being happy about.
Hey guys, what's going on?
How's it going, Kenoshi? We were talking about how E3 is just fucked. Um,
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
especially since E3 has been on the climb with how it's more presentation than showing what games are coming out, right?
Well, it's more of a circle jerk in order for the industry to pat itself on the back and a lot of glitz and no substance. Like, how many games do they show at an E3 and then the game comes out and the game is shit? But at E3 it looked
Um,
awesome, didn't it?
I was about to say, they show 4 games per E3.
I mean,
I'm taking a guesstimate here.
don't they show a lot of games at E3 that look awesome and then the game actually comes out and it's like, this game kind of sucks.
I stopped caring about E3.
Huh,
I think
I
2015.
get you on
I
that.
should have stopped. I should have stopped way sooner, but 2015 was it. After
I
that whole Final Fantasy VII the remake reveal, and
Yeah,
oh
when
yeah,
they
everybody
brought that
lost their
man,
the
when they
mind.
brought the Shenmue man out and he was begging people for money, I was like, what type of bullshit is this?
You know, E3. All E3 was supposed to be was a trade show.
Yeah,
I mean, that
and
was.
that's what, and then they close it off to the public. How the fuck are you gonna have a trade show like the automotive show or the consumer electronics show? How are you
I'll
gonna have
admit
a trade show and you don't have the people who you want to buy your fucking product, the public there to show it off? That makes no
We just
fucking sense.
We need to leave the whole stage presentation. That's what the stage presentations haven't really proven all that well because they're super awkward and just we have the resources to do it. Do like a digital event like Nintendo did. They have the right idea. You can control the message. You don't have those awkward pauses. You don't have those awkward moments.
You
I
know,
mean, yeah, it's kind of the same with BS. We'll get really gussied up trailers that wouldn't be true, but at least it would be possibly more entertaining. And they probably wouldn't be as long.
you know, I let me put it this way. If I'm not saying there isn't room for a stage presentation. There is. But if all you're going to do is have people who are of the industry in those presentations, you're not going to have the public, the people who you want to buy your fucking product, not involved with the thing. Like if you're not going to have base common everyday people who you want to buy your product, the masses there. If you're not going to I mean really, I've been saying this for years. E3 needs to be opened up to the public. Not, oh, I got to pay for it to get in. There needs not every day, but there needs to be a day, maybe like the last day E3, where it's just Tom, Dick, and Harry can go in there and go and play the games, go and watch the
Yeah.
presentations, go and get their hands on the new hardware. That's all I'm saying. Because here's the thing: E3 has consistently gone downhill the more it was about the
Flash.
industry and the industry having this big massive circle jerk instead of actually being about people wanting to play these games. It was about, oh, well, we need to make shareholders think that we're coming out with something good. Like I said, how many games have been shown off at E3 that turned out to be shit? Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed Unity, what was the other one?
As I said,
I mean,
usually there's four
it's myriads of
big for
games.
yeah.
Fallout 76 was shown off at E3. That game is terrible. Anthem, terrible.
I was about to say that's a plane crash
Mass
right
Effect
there.
Andromeda was shown off at E3. Terrible. Dragon Age Inquisition, terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, the list literally, my brain would short out trying to remember all the games that
I
have
was
been
about to
shown at
say
E3 that turned
that's
out to be a
from
steaming
your
pile of
house
shit.
and goes around the block 5 times just to even look like it ends.
Okay, so don't tell me, oh my god. Hell, Nintendo showed off Amiibo Festival Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. That game's a steaming pile of shit.
Hey, I at least, hey, if anything, at least it's not as terrible as what we gotten from
No,
Anthem.
no, I'll be fair, okay? It is not Anthem bad, but here's the thing, okay? Video games are a product. You're selling a product that people want. People who are Animal Crossing fans want an Animal Crossing game, not an Amiibo Crossing game. Okay? It's like give people what they want, okay? Give them what they want. That's what gamers want. Give gamers what they want. Okay? It's like when I pick up a 2D Mario game, I want 2D Mario platforming. I don't give a shit about story.
I bought it because I was feeling like I'm gonna get a better game out of that than what Mario Party was giving me.
Yeah, and both of them were
That's
equally
something.
shit. Because Mario Party's bad and Amiibo Festival's bad. They're both bad. They're bad in different ways, but they're not good. Okay?
I was saying that if anything, than Mario Party 10.
Yeah, but that's like saying, hey man, this rapist, he just forced me to give him he just raped my chest versus my ass. But you're still getting raped. It's just one slightly better than the other. That's it.
Thank you for making me feel like I got the better
You got
party
the
game.
better bad experience. It's like, well, at least I wasn't kicked in the nuts. It's like, they just slapped me in the face. They didn't kick me in the nuts. It's good. I mean, I don't want to be hit either way, to be honest with you. I really don't. But if I had to take that hit, I'd take the slap versus the kick in the nuts. But yeah, but what I'm saying is this: nobody is exempt from pulling off some bullshit at E3. Nobody.
I
They're
know.
all guilty of it. E3 is just a waste of time.
I know, but
Okay.
I was gonna say, if anything, oh god, there's some bad highlights, and then there's those big, uh,
Let me put it this way: if the money that the ESA and all these companies put into E3, if they took that money and said we're going to donate it to the homeless fund of LA, they could put a dent into the amount of homeless people in LA. Right there, they could give that to a builder and have some affordable housing built in LA instead of spending money on this shit.
and that's plenty to spend off.
All right, but no, we gotta spend millions of dollars to show off some games. Over half of which are this is a tech demo put on a PC that's incredibly hyped up, and the actual game isn't gonna play or look anything like this. Hello, Anthem. Hello, Watch Dogs. Hello, Assassin's Creed Unity. Hello, Mass Effect Andromeda. Hello, like it's unending. It's fucking unending. The only company that goes to E3 and what you see on the show floor is kind of like what you're gonna see in the end game is Nintendo. And even then, some of their games are like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like Wii Music. Wii
Oh,
Music could
you
go
have
fuck
to
itself.
bring that up.
Well, listen. I like Nintendo, but look,
Oh,
no one's
God,
look.
that's a
Look,
mess.
the shit hit the fan. Everyone's got some shit on them. Everybody, even Nintendo's
I
got some
mean,
shit.
come
on 'em.
on, did you really have to go that deep?
I did, cause it's so memorable seeing that dude jamming out with a fucking mohawk with some fucking Wiimotes in his hand. I'm like, come on, man, it's stupid. And I love the Wii. It's one of my favorite Nintendo consoles. I love motion control, but Wii Music was fucking stupid. It was dumb, okay? There's only 3 musical games on the Wii that made sense. Samba de Amigo, Space, Ooh La La, Space Channel 1 and 5, Ooh La La, which is more like a gesture game than it is like a music game. And maybe, see, what's another music game on the Wii that kind of, maybe, Samba de Amigo 2? But I mean, that's simple like maracas type stuff, and that's like easy to do with a Wiimote. Like you shouldn't be trying to do real music shit with a Wii, because the Wii, even with Motion Plus, was never going to be that precise to really pull that shit off.
The only one Well, I mean, the only instrument I could think of that could even be close to that would be the drums.
Yeah, the drums and a maraca, like percussion type shit. And even then, you're just gonna look like you're having a seizure. I'm having a seizure. No, stick to your No More Heroes where you have to charge up your beam saber by looking like you're having some personal time with yourself. If you're a dude, that's about it. Okay, or some women have weird ways of using a vibrator, so maybe that's it. Whatever, you're not doing something appropriate. That's about it. That's your only real. That's your only real joy. But with using motion control. But I mean, and look, that was good enough. Here's the thing. There are some games here's the thing. Whether you're a Sony fan or a Microsoft fan, Nintendo has enough first-party games to where even if it's not your primary console, it's a good auxiliary. Like there's some games that you're always going to need a Nintendo console in order to play. Like you want to play your Smash Brothers, you want to play your Legend of Zeldas, you want to play your Metroids. Like those first-party and second-party exclusives, you cannot play that on anything else. Except now where everything's just going to PC, so fuck it. Although I would say the definitive way to play a lot of those second-party games, like the best way to play Lego City is with a Wiimote. Is with the Wii U gamepad. It really is not the same playing that with a with a traditional controller, because it just doesn't feel the same. I know some people might get angry about that, but I don't care. But anyway, keeping it moving. So anyone have any other failures in gaming that they want to bring up before we move on to the next topic? We did GameStop. With Reggie can't save this shit. Reggie with all of his prodigious size can't save this shit. Okay.
Wait, he's working at GameStop now?
He's on the he's
Yeah,
gonna be appointed as one of the chairman of the board.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
But that ain't gonna save.
He's gonna be a whiteboard writer.
well, I'll probably just
Look, he's just getting a check while this ship sinks. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm
he's
saying.
Gonna get a check.
This is just his golden parachute before it all just falls apart.
I mean, but he already got a golden parachute from Nintendo. But this is another. Look, listen.
He's getting the second one.
If someone gave me $1 million check for a failing company to just to raise the stock a little bit, I'd take it. I'm not gonna look. I ain't gonna get mad. Look, because there's nothing I can do to save this company, but I can get paid. I can get paid.
Yeah, they just refuse to adapt.
Why not get paid? Yeah, why not get paid?
I mean, that's the problem with GameStop is they just refuse to compete.
Like, okay, basic shit they could have done. Like 10 years ago, GameStop should have instead of, because here's the thing, GameStop, the corporation, runs all these different, runs the leases on all these different stores. One company runs the leases on all these different stores, and guess the fuck what? These stores are stacked on top of each other. They're stealing money from themselves because they're places where there's too many fucking GameStops in one location. Okay?
Yeah.
And guess what? There's no franchising with GameStop. There's no franchises, which means there's no one to take some of the split it 50-50 and just open a store. Which is why I say these days mom and pop game stores are doing better than GameStop because they have a niche, they fit that niche, and they're really good with that niche. GameStop's trying to do all types of shit. Well, we sell Popco toys. We sell video gaming paraphernalia.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would I go to GameStop to buy video game paraphernalia when I can go online and buy the shit and have it delivered to my house? And then when I buy it online, no one's asking me, "Would you like the warranty? Do you want to sign up for a Power Rewards cards?" You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So yeah, GameStop. Look, Reggie can't save this shit. I said earlier, God can't save GameStop. That's right. Even God can't save GameStop. Whatever God you worship, Allah, Yahweh, the Earth Mother, Zeus. None of them can save this turd. It's gonna
Well, it's not the question if they want to save it or not. It's the question is, do they actually want to?
No, even if, because there's some people, man, I really need this job. You should take your time and go find another job. Because I guarantee you will be much happier working someplace else than GameStop. Or you can be like that guy that was interviewed on YouTube who was like, yeah, I used to manage a GameStop. I quit and I opened my own little mom and pop store. He's like, I'm doing fine. So, here's the thing. There is a niche that GameStop could have filled years ago. But because GameStop became so fucking corporate, they refused to fill that niche. They bought all their competition. So, they're done. They're done. They're done. And, the George Sherman, the guy who used to be the CEO of AutoZone, he's like, well, we can do all this and blah, blah, blah. It's like, look, you don't seem to understand. You cannot buy a muffler you cannot buy and install a muffler on your car digitally. You have to go and buy that shit. Okay? Someone has to take it and attach it to your car. Unless you have a car that you know how to put the windshield wipers on yourself, then you could do that yourself. But you get what I'm saying? Like, car parts are physical things that you have to go and take places and do shit with. Video game is code. Okay?
Yeah.
You can get that digitally. You don't need to go to the store to get that. Literally half of my video game library is digital. Actually, more than half, like 85% of my video game library these days is digital because I basically backed up all my games. I took a ROM ripper and just digitally backed up all my games for my SNES, my NES, my N64. Like most of my retro systems for my Sega Genesis and my Nintendo, my Sega systems and my Nintendo systems, aside from the Dreamcast and the GameCube. All the cartridge-based shit, I've backed up. My DS games I've backed up. My Game Boy Advance games I've backed up. Because who wants to keep all that fucking shit around? And you got to find the cartridge. You got to pick this up. You got to do this. Why? Why make life hard for yourself? Why? But yeah. Basically, GameStop is fucked. It will not be saved. I would not be surprised if next year, I would not be surprised that if GameStop can hold on till after when the new consoles launch, if they can hold on till then, they will not have to declare bankruptcy until January, February next year. That's when they'll have to do it. And what they'll do is that they'll say, well, we had to curtail redundancies. And what they'll do is that one of two things will happen. Either GameStop will have to will declare bankruptcy and say, well, we'll try to stay in business. And what they'll do is that they'll shut like maybe 70%, 80% of all the stores. And then they'll just be in very niche locations, or they'll just go out of business. Because there's only one business I know that's declared bankruptcy and actually came out of it. And that's Crystals, which is basically the southern version of White Castle. That's it.
Just let you know, Crystals is down in this.
Yeah, Crystal had to declare. Yeah, they had to declare bankruptcy again. But like, I knew they declared bankruptcy before and then came out of it like as a business again. So my point is this: is that there is kind of like that thing going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's just some people might get mad, but I don't care if they get mad. Listen, okay. If the only place where you can buy games is GameStop, I feel sorry for you because there's other places you can get games. Like near where I live, we have Second and Charles, which is basically like basically, if you took a KB Toys and a Toys R Us and made it huge, and then threw Hot Topic in there, and then a Books a Million / Barnes and Noble, except they sell a lot of used books, so they're cheaper, you'd have Second and Charles. That's a better place to get shit. And plus, you can get your cards and shit like that. It's nice. Near where I live. Like, I get shit from there. That's where I got my new record player after my old one broke. Because I'd been listening to a lot of shit on it. But, I mean, my advice is to find other places to buy your games. If you can. If you can't, well, you got to do what you got to do. You got to get your gaming fixed because people are addicted to that shit. But, but yeah, with that being said, let's keep it moving. So, any other failing companies people want to bring up before we wrap things up?
I would ask if you would bring up Bethesda.
Well, Bethesda's
wording.
failing, but they're not financially failing. They're failing. They're not financially failing. They have a lot of money. Here's the irony. Todd Howard is basically he's basically giving the keynote speech at a developer conference in Brighton. And I'm like, how the fuck is this dude giving any keynote speeches about development when every game he's developed has been a buggy piece of shit? I just, I don't understand that. I'm kind of like, Like, his games are really ambitious, but ambition doesn't mean anything if you can't pull it off. You know what I mean?
That kind of rubs me the wrong way, hearing that he keynote speaker with his track record.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of weird. It's like someone saying, "Hey, I'm giving the keynote speech at a chef convention, but every single dish I've ever attempted to make came out slightly wrong." It's like, you don't get to give a keynote speech because you're a shitty chef. Like, every dish you've ever attempted always comes out wrong. I don't think you should be allowed. Because think about it. Todd Howard, the first game he worked on for Bethesda was Terminator. Okay, in the 90s. That game was a buggy piece of shit. Then they took that same engine and did Terminator 2. Like, the sequel to that game. It wasn't called Terminator, it was called something else. But it was basically the same engine refined. That game was a broken piece of shit. Then he did Elder Scrolls...
was there nothing he touched that...
3.
That was infested?
And that game was a buggy piece of shit. And then they did Oblivion. Buggy piece of shit. And then they did...
As I said, is there... that isn't infested?
And
that
then
he
they
touched?
did Skyrim. Buggy piece of shit. And basically, every game this dude has been the lead developer for has been a buggy piece of shit. Why are you giving him a platform to say, "Hey, guess what, developers? You should do it like this"? Nah, I'm good.
Excuse me, but that's upwards as Doctor Who.
I mean, that's the equivalent of a dude giving a safe sex talk and you find out he's got 13 kids and all of them have gonorrhea because he gave it to them. It's like, dude, you don't get to tell anyone about how to not get anyone pregnant or get a disease. You need to shut the fuck up, dude. That's basically how I feel when it comes to Todd Howard telling developers how to make games.
Yes.
Like, you don't... You don't get to tell anyone how to make any games whatsoever, Todd. Like, never.
Just so we could positive know a little bit. What kind of game would you not for people to try out?
Yeah. Which niche game do I love that I would never recommend to other people? I'll tell you a niche game. This is the fun topic. The niche game that I love that I would never recommend for other people is I know this is going to sound really bad. I would not recommend any of the mainline Shin Megami Tensei games for other people because they're really niche. They're fun for if you like that type of game, but if you're just a casual gamer, I wouldn't recommend them for people.
Huh. You? than I did. That's for sure.
I mean, because like if you play like the first two, three digital devil, they were called digital devil back in the game, or Megami Tensei games. Those games are really, really hardcore. Like they're tough. You have to make a lot of tough decisions. Um,
You're making deals with devils.
Demons, all types of shit. I mean, it's a tough game. It's tough. It's a tough game, and I like. I mean, like I said, personally, I like games like that. I like games that are tough that have you making difficult decisions. I like games that have you dealing with, going against the status quo and making choices that can affect the overall game world. I like shit like that, but it's not an easy game by any stretch of the imagination, and they're kind of hard. I mean, they're not easy titles. So,
Yeah, I
um,
get where you're coming from, though. If you want hard titles with 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 strain of brain, try games like Civilization, War. Well, the some of the games that require you to utilize your entire squad.
I mean, well,
Real time strategy games.
Civilization, I would say everyone should play Civilization. Not because it's a great game, although it is a pretty good game, but because it's just kind of fun playing Civilization, especially creating your own maps and giving yourselves like a massive supercontinent with everything, and then putting your enemy AI on a little shitty island.
I was gonna say that if you ask me that the where I would say you were a real devil with that, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't recommend real time to first time gamers
Although you'll
because
never get
they
a diplomatic victory if you go that way, because the AI will always be jealous of you having all the resources, and you'll never have a world government. The only way you can win in that way is going into space. It's the only way. It's the only way you can win, because the AI is like, no, I want to, and then starting wars with you. Like the thing is, like, you have this little shitty island. Why are you starting a war with me? You have nothing. You're fighting me with a spearman. What the fuck is wrong with you? Nope. They got to do
that
it. They got to fight because they're an asshole.
actually jelly.
Yeah.
They're jelly.
So
So as I said, RTS real time strategy for a first time player because I can imagine brain is overloaded by the time they get through the tutorial battles.
Campaign is
You know, like units, how to win the game, how to try to how to maintain that stuff. I think their minds would be for if they ever played real time strategy games like that.
look, listen. Like I said, people need to get over this shit. So Kenoshi, what niche game do you like that you would never recommend for other people?
Hmm. Let's see. Think about this. Niche game that I wouldn't recommend to people.
Yeah, like you love it. It's like when you play it, you enjoy it, but you're like, I could not, in good faith, tell someone to play this game because they would not enjoy it. Other people would not enjoy this game because it just wouldn't be for them.
Yeah.
If you're wondering a game specifically for me, that would be Warcraft 2.
Really? That's a game that you enjoy, but it's ultra niche.
As in, I wouldn't introduce this to new players.
Eh, I mean, I have to say there's some aspects of Warcraft 2 that are kind of like not for everybody.
Yeah.
But I would say StarCraft is more like that. StarCraft is one of those games that if you aren't used to playing strategy games, like the first few scenario fight battles that you fight are like, okay, I get this. But once you start to really get into StarCraft, it's like, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
I get what you're saying. It's just that if didn't recommend real-time strategies, though. If anything, I would say that actually played Warcraft 2.
Yeah,
So,
fair enough.
I would have
yeah.
to say, for me, Devil May Cry 3, the Kick You in the Balls edition,
Oh, you mean
the one
the
before the
original
special
edition
edition.
that was
Yeah, I
unnecessarily
had that
difficult
game,
just
got
because?
stolen, so I never actually could see if I could
Well, the
complete
joke's
the
on
original
them because
version.
they got the hard version. And they're like, I'm gonna
No.
steal this shit. They're like, I'm gonna steal this shit. It's gonna be great. It's like, joke's on you, sucker.
uh, yeah, but I
Yeah.
actually had fun. I actually had fun with the time that I had it. It was pretty good. Uh, yeah, that game that game was crazy.
Powerhouse of a
You know,
mess.
some missions would probably take like 10, 15, 20 minutes to complete, and if you died, that was it. You had to start the mission all over again.
Oh, I got
You could
another
probably
one.
spend 3 hours in the mission.
I got another one. I got another game that I love that I would not recommend for everybody. Um, Zack and Wiki. Zack and Wiki is an action adventure game. It's an adventure game, like a point and click adventure game for the Wii, made by Capcom, where essentially
Kind of like the Monkey Isle games.
kind of like Monkey Island, except Zack is actually competent. Instead of Guybrush Threepwood is totally incompetent, where Zack is very competent. Um,
I actually wanted to roast that guy.
I like the Adventure Island games. I do. Not Adventure. Yeah,
I was
Adventure
just
Island.
saying that I I get a kick out of you roasting it.
I like those games, but Guybrush Threepwood is completely incompetent. Like, in the first two games, over time he becomes more competent as time goes on. But in the first two games, he's a joke. Zack from Zack and Wiki is actually pretty competent as a pirate. Yeah, he's pretty pirate. He's pretty competent as a pirate. Like he can sword fight. He's got some pretty sweet moves. He's pretty intelligent. He actually can solve problems and shit. Like Zack and Wiki's actually a really good game, and I wish more people had bought it. But it's not for everybody. I wouldn't like if you don't like adventure games. You don't like trying to figure out puzzles and shit. I wouldn't say it for those people. I wouldn't say, hey, you need to play that. Here's some breaking news. WB Games had planned to reveal new Batman and Harry Potter games at E3.
E3
So
and
is E3 canceled this year?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
I don't
canceled
know
it.
that.
Yeah, we said earlier we were like, we're not losing that much because E3's been shit for years.
Oh, I can just not care. And I wasn't gonna care anyway, so
Yeah.
I'm not losing anything. So okay.
if anything, I only see how much of a ham these people can be.
I just like seeing the shit fall apart because
Whatever. Are they gonna still present their games in some form or fashion?
well, Microsoft and Sony said they're gonna do a digital thing, which makes
Okay.
sense because Nintendo's doing it, and they love to copy Nintendo. Nintendo's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
the only thing I'm gonna miss
these are
is the
insane,
Treehouse Live. But personally, I think that what Nintendo might do is just do the Treehouse from their headquarters in Seattle, Washington.
Their studio, yeah. They might have a few of the developers and stuff. They might invite the developers and maybe some journalists, whatever.
But they don't even have
Of
to do
course.
that because here's the thing: all they need is just the code for the game, and then they can just play it there, with a Wii mode or not a Wii mode, the gamepad or whatever. Like they can just do. Because here's the thing. Okay, let's keep it real. Okay, the Treehouse Live, I'm gonna miss that because the Treehouse Live, it's where you learned more in depth about games, which I like.
Yeah.
and people actually playing the shit and playing something that was close to what the end product was going to be, and not some fluffed up bullshit like you get from the other companies. Um, like remember how Microsoft had that Xbox thing for the Xbox One, and they're like Xbox TV on, and every time the dude said that, he'd reach in his pocket to switch the
Oh,
shit with a remote, because that's what he was doing. He's like, yeah,
I'm
Xbox on.
sorry.
He'd reach
That
in his
was
pocket,
cringe.
and people weren't gonna notice that shit. I'm like, every time this dude says that, he reaches in his pocket. Either he's pressing a remote to make it do that, or he's hitting a signal so that someone else can do it. But it was happening too quickly for him to be for someone, because there would have been a delay. I'm like, yeah, this motherfucker. I mean, the Xbox One. Like, someone needs to be fired for the Xbox One. I'm sorry. I continue to say this. Someone should be fired for that shit.
I mean, they need to be fired like somebody that said, there's a system for mine. It's the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
That kind of fired.
So.
I am going to lose absolutely no sleep over the fact that E3 was canceled this year, because
Yeah.
maybe people realize, wait a second, maybe E3 doesn't need to be in my life anymore.
I mean, here's the thing. I do think, okay, E3 as it exists in the format that it has, where it's closed off to the public, and if the public want to come in, they have to spend like $200, $300, or like $60 for a day pass and all that shit. I think that E3 as it exists, where it's this closed off industry circle jerk, where they just show shit off in
That
order to
needs
make
to
their
shut down.
stocks go up, that needs to go. I do think that there does need to be there needs to be a convention for video gamers that's open to the public, where they can just come in and just look at the new games that are coming out. And PAX kind of hits that, but PAX is you have to pay to get into that too. So like, there needs to be like a public event that gamers can go to, where they can just basically like, hey, look, here are the new games that are coming out. Isn't this cool? And show it off to the masses. I mean, I think one of the reasons the Nintendo Switch was so successful versus, because remember, before the Switch came out, all of the industry was like, man, we don't think this is going to be a thing. We don't think it's going to take off, right? But Nintendo went and invited people, like gamers, like traditional Nintendo gamers, people who weren't Nintendo gamers, invited people to play the shit. You went in, you showed your thing, you came in, you played the shit. You got a hands-on experience, okay? I really think that could work with a lot of gamers. I think there needs to be there needs to be an E3 for all, where people can go and play games and look at the new hardware and that type of shit. It doesn't have to be they're like, well, we'll have it in LA and it'll be this big thing. No, if you just like, if they had it like PAX, right? Where it maybe happens simultaneously, East Coast, West Coast, maybe something in the Midwest, because not everyone, East Coast and West Coast is nice, but you need
Can
something in
go
the
east
Midwest. Yeah, you need something for people in the Midwest, okay? And if you had something like that happen simultaneously, people showing off the same shit, people could actually go and play the games that came out, demos of games that are coming out, shit like that, demo builds. That'd be a smart thing, but they don't want to do that because they don't have control. People might say, this game's kind of floaty, or what they showed on the screen isn't what I'm playing right now. People don't want to do that. They want the glitz and the glamour. They want to have that facade of this is going to be awesome when it might be shit. So
they want the best polished scene instead of the rough
E3.
stuff.
Maybe E3 doesn't need to die; it just needs to undergo a major surgery.
Yeah, it needs to majorly. It needs to be changed. It needs to be changed dramatically. And I stand by that. There doesn't need to be there needs to be some type of event that lets people get things out, like major shit out. That's good, But the way E3 is now, where it's closed off to the public and only certain people can play it, and like that needs to go. Um, that needs to go the way the dodo.
So
And
is it because of the coronavirus that they canceled it?
yeah, that's okay. That's what they're saying. But I said this earlier. I don't believe it. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I just think that's kind of BS too.
It's a convenient excuse, but I don't believe it. You get what I'm saying? Like, think of it like this:
Yeah.
has someone ever wanted you to go to an event, right? Like your family said, "Hey, we're going to see this movie," and you didn't want to see the movie, so then like someone in your family's like, "Yeah, they're sick. Yeah, I'm sick too. Yeah, I don't want to." Like that's basically a convenient excuse, but you didn't want to go to the shit anyway. Like a lot of people, E3 was probably gonna be really small this year and really kind of shitty. And because look at all the people who fucking quit, who were like, yeah,
PlayStation wasn't going to show up. PlayStation or Sony wasn't going to be there this year.
yeah,
They already said that they weren't going to be there. That's a a heavy player that's like, I don't really want. Nintendo practically isn't there besides their Treehouse event.
yeah. And the
They
Treehouse
don't
event
have
is
a stage.
awesome.
Yeah. So it's just like, so Nintendo's halfway not there.
But here's the thing.
Sony's not going to show up this year.
But here's the thing. They
And
don't
don't
have
forget
to.
the stars.
Well, but here's the thing. Nintendo's Treehouse could be done from Seattle, where
Yeah.
their U.S. headquarters are. They don't need to. They could literally do their Treehouse. They could do their Treehouse from their Japan headquarters for the Japanese developers, and
Yeah.
and from the U.S. dudes from the U.S. headquarters. They don't need to fucking have it at E3.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They don't need to go there. Look, Nintendo does that shit out of just, well, this is what people are doing, and it's like a thing. They don't need that.
So we're gonna go back to how it was in the old days where some of these companies would just have their own smaller events throughout the year.
Well, I mean, that's
like
what.
Nintendo with Space World.
Yeah, well, Space World wasn't just Nintendo. Space World had other shit too, other tech shit too. So it wasn't just strictly Nintendo. Although Nintendo did show a lot of shit off at Space World. Because remember, Space World was an offshoot of CES, which was the Consumer Electronics Show. Space World was for video games and PC games. So it wasn't just Nintendo. Nintendo showed off some cool shit at Space World, which is the thing was Space World was open to the public. It wasn't this industry circle jerk where only people with press passes can get in, and only YouTube influencers
Or people that paid
only
certain
people
tickets.
who paid $300 for a badge can get in. Fuck you! Like E3 now is it's a joke. It's a fucking joke. Like it's not open to the public. So why should they care?
Yeah.
E3 is a goddamn joke, and I don't feel sorry for it. So,
Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for E3. It's falling apart. I feel sorry for people who were really into it. I know some people are like, man, I really love. I know there's some people who really like E3. I know there were certain YouTubers. E3 is Christmas for gamers. Look, if you think that E3 is Christmas for gamers, you have you've had a shitty Christmas.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's just a giant commercial, which is all right. It's just the way they go about it.
Let me put it this way.
That's the way the fans go about it.
If E3 is Christmas for gamers, then your Christmases must have been your parents promising you all types of shit, and then when you actually got it, it was nothing like what what they promised. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna get you a Mega Man video game, and you had an SNES, and then when you got the shit, it was like Mega Man Tiger Electronic. You're like, you motherfucker. That's basically
yeah.
That's what E3 is.
Oh yeah.
It's like your parents like, yeah, we'll get you a Legend of Zelda game, but it's a Game & Watch, not like Legend of Zelda. It's like Game & Watch Legend of Zelda game. That's basically, E3 is bait and switch. Okay, that's what E3 is. It's bait and switch the convention, and people who are way too happy about the bait and switch, like who actually bought into the bullshit. I personally, like I said, like no one Oh, here's some breaking news. Overwatch lead writer has left Blizzard.
Blizzard's going down the
Yeah.
shitter.
I feel kind of bad about that because I like some of Blizzard's IPs like Lost Vikings, Warcraft, Starcraft, Diablo. Um,
Overwatch would have been great if they
I'd be
made a single
surprised if
player
you.
can't. I would
I'd
play
be surprised if
Overwatch
you
if they
were
made a
to
single player
Hearthstone.
campaign out of it.
yeah, I mean Michael Chu um, had been at Blizzard for 20 years, so that's not good when you have people who've been places for 20 years just leaving.
Yeah, because if you're there that long and you just leave, then there must be some bad blood or something.
Well, he says he's off to pursue his dreams, which basically means they probably wanted him to do some shit that he didn't want to do, and he was like, "Fuck you." Um, yeah, it's not good. It's Blizzard is seeing Blizzard go downhill is not good. Where they're fucking up basic shit like, "Hey guys, we're re-releasing Warcraft 2, but we're making it shittier," which is what they did. They re-released Warcraft 2, but it's shittier. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good at all. Any other topics anyone else wants to cover before we wrap things up, or anyone want to bring up a topic before we wrap things up?
That Final Fantasy VI. I uh, I I I bought the Steam version because I found out there were decent mods out there that make the game look a little better
All
than
right. How
what
is it?
Square was. It's pretty good. It's pretty decent. The modders did a pretty decent job with making the game look better. There are several different kinds of mods you can make. There are at least three that I know of, and there's the one that makes the sprites look more like the Super Nintendo sprites, and then there's the another custom mod, and then there's uh, an in between of the Super Nintendo and the custom made one, and then there's a mod package where it allows you to pick and choose various aspects
Yeah, but
of.
you know what the problem is? Why should people have to do mods for a game when all they could what they should have done was just ported the was done the base port of the game should have been the SNES version, and then you could have added like pixel smoothers and HD textures to make it look, more modern, smoother. But for me, like if I'm playing Final Fantasy VI, I don't want to play the Android port where the pixels look weird. Like I want that
Yeah.
original art style where it looks like it did on the SNES, with on a CRT TV. Like why would I want to play the quote unquote better version where everything looks weird? It's like this is
Yeah.
too smooth. It's too smooth, baby. It's too smooth. I need something a little bit jaggier.
I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say the mods are perfect, but they do make it look. They did make it look and feel a little bit better. And plus, there's a pretty good remix of the soundtrack as well.
No,
More of
I
a
mean I understand that.
orchestra.
I'm just saying like because they did the same thing with Final Fantasy IV too, or was it
Yeah.
4 and 5 that they re-released? Was that they were like, yeah, these are just the ports of the Android game. It's like why would I want to play Final Fantasy 4 or 5 like I was playing on a mobile device? That makes no sense. But it's Square Enix, so they,
And I also been playing through Final Fantasy VII because I've actually never gotten through that game. I also been modding that game as well
on
to
PC.
make it. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I mean, that's the nice thing about PC is you can kind of fix your games and make them look better. But then again, like you were saying, why should you have to do that? But
Yeah, they
I
don't
don't
optimize.
particularly
Like I've
mind
noticed
it.
this about Square Enix. They don't optimize shit for PC. Like if something's on PC from Square Enix, I mean not now, but like back in the day, like Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 4, 5, 6, that shit is just barely. It's like, oh, it runs on PC. Okay, that's good enough.
Yeah, I was because for the longest time I thought Final Fantasy VII was exclusive to PlayStation, and then it was back when I was in college, maybe like it was back around 2011. I was looking up how much Final Fantasy VII was if you wanted to actually buy a copy of it.
Mhm.
And I saw the PC version. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know this game came out for PC at the time.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not a good.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
not
just
a
saying when I was a
good.
kid. That's, hey, I'm just.
See, look, he was just doing it for a half a second there.
Yeah.
I wonder
that's
why they
what it
brought
is.
it out for
I did it
PC.
when I
I'm
was
kind of interested.
Hey, how's it going?
Because they thought maybe if it didn't sell well enough on PS1 at the time, because they didn't know. Um, they wanted to hedge their bets.
Oh,
Like now, like okay, we're hearing Horizon Zero Dawn is coming to PC this year, right? So
Supposedly.
basically, that game that used to be a PS4 exclusive coming to PC, that tells me that that game did not sell nearly well enough on on the PlayStation. Because why would they bring a console exclusive? They own the studio that made that game. Why would that game be brought over to PC? Unless it did not sell well at all.
is that confirmed or is that just a
That's
rumor?
confirmed. Let me. Horizon Zero
shit.
Dawn coming to PC. Yeah, it's got a Steam page.
Oh shit! I don't know
Yeah,
that. Oh,
it's coming to
jeez.
PC.
Oh,
It's coming to PC.
that is crazy.
Yeah, so that game did not sell well.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. Holy crap!
That game did
And
not
it's-
sell
Oh,
well.
boy.
That game did not sell well. You want to know why this shit's coming
If that
to PC?
was a bestseller,
It
then
did not sell well. Yeah. That
If
game
that-
did not sell well. That's why that
then
game's
I'm
coming to PC.
Britney Spears.
Yeah, the reason that game's coming to PC is because it did not sell well. Because you don't see Last of Us coming to PC, do you? Last of Us Part 2, do you? God of
No.
War? No. And you want to know why Horizon Zero Dawn didn't sell well? Because it came out the same fucking year as Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, they kind
It came out the same. It came out the same year as Breath of the Wild. And Breath of the Wild said, Link was like, "Oh, that's cute. You want to wear handcrafted outfits and shoot arrows at monsters. Oh, that's cute. Isn't that just adorable? You want to have an open world? Oh, but you hit an invisible wall. Oh, that's so cute."
Well, see that's the thing. It was going up against an established IP, for one thing, and it came out practically a couple of weeks before Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
It's just an unfortunate timing.
And everything that Horizon Zero Dawn was trying to do, Breath of the Wild did better. Like
Yeah.
Horizon's like Horizon Zero Dawn's like, man, look at the freedom, look at the open world. Yeah, but Breath of the Wild, unless you hit the map edges, there really is freedom. If you see that mountain, you can probably climb that mountain. And if you
Yeah.
can't climb that mountain, you can find gear to make it so that you can climb that mountain.
Yeah.
Oh man, you see that? You see that, and you could interact with the environment in ways that you still can't do in Horizon Zero Dawn. So yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn came out. I'm guessing that initially it sold okay, but then Breath of the Wild came out, and people were like, no, no. And I mean, why do you think that walking simulator from Hideo Kojima is coming to PC? Because it didn't sell well. Games that sell well do not come to PC. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, Octopath Traveler, I love that game, but it came to PC because it didn't sell well.
Yeah.
Wait, let me see Octopath Traveler, because if it sold over 1 million, then I could be lying. But this is Square Enix, and they're stupid.
Octopath Traveler is way too much on PC.
Yeah, they're charging like $50 for it, which is
Mine.
sorry, $60 for it. They're charging fucking $60 for it.
It was actually cheaper on the Switch when it first came out. It's only
Yeah,
50.
it sold 1.8 million units in the West. So that doesn't
Oh, wow.
include Japan or Europe, just the West. No, that includes Japan and Europe. I mean, that includes North America and Europe. It probably sold maybe a third of that in Japan. So it was that. I mean, if they kept the budget low, that's successful. That's $60 at launch. So, you know.
Well, I mean, the thing is, this Square's kind of an interesting case because they put half of their stuff on PC. Like the Final Fantasy VII remake will find its way on PC.
Oh yeah, as
Like,
soon as that exclusivity deal runs out, it's coming to PC. Like Borderlands 3 came to PC. Am I going to get it on Steam? I might when there's a sale. I'm not going to pay full price for it now. I'm not.
Nah, I got it free with my processor, so.
Yeah. With all the DLC, I mean with the season pass, or did you have to buy
No, not
that?
with it. No, I would still have to buy that.
Mm,
I didn't get that lucky.
yeah. So yeah, I'm I'm at the point now where what I might do is I might just get a new graphic when I get my new graphics card, and I'll just get Borderlands then. Borderlands 3. You know, because I don't want to buy it. Like I just want to wait until it hits Steam and I get the Game of the Year. Like really, what I really want to do is wait until the Game of the Year edition comes out and then just get everything then.
Yeah. That's probably the smartest thing to do.
Because I don't need that shit now. I can wait.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Anything else? Anything else? Anyone else wants to go talk about before we wrap things up?
So apparently, I saw a headline on Nintendo Life and I brought that up, but something about a rumor of Nintendo having a 2 new presentations by the end of March.
They're supposed to have one March 19th and another one March 26th.
Oh, okay.
I saw that. I was like, well, I mean, they need to do something.
Yeah, they haven't
Rumor?
really done anything.
Why do people are?
What?
I was saying, why are people?
Because at this point, people have probably played and beaten all the Nintendo first-party games they want. I mean, they own. Like, I've beat Breath of the Wild like 4 times. Link's Awakening, the remake, it's the same game, except for that dungeon building mechanic, which can hold you for maybe a day or two. They had the, let's see, what else? What other big games? There's Animal Crossing, but, I mean, I'm not really impressed with the new Animal Crossing game. I don't give a shit about Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. So, you know, you want to hear about the new shit coming out. You know, they want that new shit.
Here's funny thing. I got plenty of stuff that is able to keep me busy for a while.
So do I. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I spent $300 on a console. I want new shit to play on it. Like, that's, you know.
Yeah.
I at least say have patience.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not one of those people. They need to drop one now, but I'm not going to be like,
You
no.
drop a game every week.
No, they don't need to.
Game every...
They don't need to drop a game every week. But I mean, this is for everybody. Stop piling games up for the holiday season. Spread your games out throughout the year.
Yeah.
Put games in the winter. Put games in fall. I mean, obviously that's the holiday season, so fall is like Christmas around that time. But winter. Now we're in winter. Put games out now. Put games in spring. Put games in summer. There's nothing going on in the summer. Kids are out of school. That's the perfect time to put out games.
Yeah, the talking about bad trends in video games. That's one that needs to stop. Is everybody coming out with the game during the holiday season? It's like everybody just
put some shit out at different times of the year. Spread it out. Spread the shit out. Okay.
Wouldn't it make sense to put some of your heavy hitters in time at a time when people are more available and people aren't putting out as much stuff?
if you put out RPGs just in the summer when kids are out of school, that'd be the perfect time because they could be home, sitting quietly in their room, playing a thought-provoking RPG. Perfect. Because, kids in summer, listen, if your parents aren't like those parents who always want to have you signing you up for shit, and they're just perfectly happy as long as you aren't being an asshole just to leave you alone and let you play your games, come down, fix yourself something to eat, and go back up to your room and don't bother anybody, who cares? Just let that kid play a game. Shit. Always trying to make shit hard. That's the thing that gets me. They always video game companies always want to. Everyone's chasing a fucking trend instead of blazing their own path. I will give Nintendo this much: they have started putting games out, big games out, at other times aside from just fall and the holiday season. I give them credit for that.
I know GTA. I mean, when GTA 4 came out several years ago, I believe it came out in like March or April. And I think there was I've noticed over the past few years that I think Capcom put out Resident Evil like in February, something like that. So there are some companies that are realizing, oh, we don't need to put our games out in the holiday. We can put them out in the middle of late, mid to late winter.
The last record, Wall Street.
Early spring. Like we don't, but for the most part, everybody does put their games out in October, November, and December.
Yeah, but that's just how I feel. Let's wrap this shit up. Anything you guys want to pimp out before we wrap things up? Your own podcast, all that type of
Saw
shit.
the worst single-day point drop in history.
I think I'll be all right.
I think I might stream some either. Yeah, I'll probably stream tomorrow night.
All right. Well, if you have a podcast, invite me because I'm not working because no one's going to my businesses. Now, luckily for me, the most profitable times for my business is summer, fall. So I'm not like, oh my god,
celebration
I'm fucked right
days.
now.
Will you guys be pretty busy on next Tuesday?
What, St. Patty's Day?
Yeah.
Not really. I'm not an Irish bar, so no.
Oh,
People come in sometimes, but
I
now with
wouldn't
this
mind.
Corona shit going around.
I figure people, because it's one of those days, and it's an excuse to get drunk. So I figure people.
Nah, man, people want to stay home right now and be safe.
Yeah.
I can't blame them.
Yeah.
Because shit, I'm not going anywhere if I can avoid it. But anyway, so if you have a podcast, I'll join it. Jewel, anything you want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
For me, I'm basically trying to figure out how to write a review for another RPG. But then again, that's probably. Though, if anything, we can say that we are reachable. I mean, we got Twitter, we got Discord, right?
Yeah. So basically, if you want to get in touch with the channel, you can reach me, Mr. Red Fox. Sorry, let me find my placard. To get in touch with the cast via Gmail, you can reach me at mrredfoxbsbuster@gmail.com. That's all lowercase. I don't know why it's uppercase in the placard. Or at Twitter at Matthew Wesley at MrRedFox91. So with that being said, that's the end of the podcast. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe. I'm gonna do something I haven't done in a long time. I'm gonna hand out a fuck you. Fuck E3 and fuck GameStop. There you go.